want to cut across to India Today, Shreya, for the benefit of viewers who are joining us, the massive impact of what the US B-2 bombers and the GBU-57 hardware has done at Fordo, the Tomahawk cruise missiles at Isfahan and Natanz. Shreya, take it away.
Thank you, Gaurav. Yes, we will in fact show to the viewers how the facilities have been attacked. There are three major facilities, nuclear facilities, that we're speaking of today. One of the most important one of those being Fordo. Now, when we speak of Fordo, remember it is an enrichment facility and it is a highly guarded enrichment facility. It is an underground uranium enrichment facility that is somewhere around, if we look at it, 100 kilometers from Tehran. That's the particular location of it within Iran. Also, another important point is it is, like we were mentioning, that it is a heavily fortified nuclear site. And in fact, it is Iran's most heavily fortified nuclear site, enrichment facility rather. And this was hit by the B-2 bombers. That is the one that we're showing. And this is the one which Israel was in fact not being able to attack on their own. And that is why there was a will US attack or will US not get involved question that was coming in for the last 2 weeks. Then it is also buried under a mountain, almost 90 feet. That is the particular estimate that's been given, 80 to 90 feet. It is underground, which is what makes it so difficult for Fordo to be attacked. Next up, we have Natanz, which is another uranium enrichment facility itself. But remember, it is one of the main uranium enrichment facilities, which is what makes it very important. In fact, it's also known as the crown jewel. And if we speak of where exactly is Natanz located, it's approximately 220 kilometers southeast of Tehran. Again, if we look at Natanz, it is an enrichment facility that we are speaking of, and it also houses advanced centrifuge systems. That is another important, thing to be remembered. It has large underground complex housing advanced centrifuge. This is the kind of system on which it works. Then we are speaking of the third site that's been hit by the United States today. But this again, Tomahawk cruise missiles have been used to hit Natanz and Isfahan. The B-2 bombers were only used for Fordo. Now, if we speak of Isfahan, this is not an enrichment facility. It is a particular processing unit where they process yellow cake into uranium hexafluoride gas. That is the one for which Isfahan is used. Also, other than these three, remember there is another particular nuclear site that we do speak about, which both Israel and US have not in fact spoken about, which is the Bushehr nuclear facility as well, which is somewhere around here. But yes, that is more complicated, a particular location. And all three, remember Gaurav, that have been hit. Right now, Iran has said that there has not been any nuclear spill from any. So that is one other point that we need to remember. But yes, these are the three nuke sites that have been hit. Back to you, Gaurav.
Oh, absolutely. 90 meters is how deep the Fordo facility was, and that is exactly why, Geeta, it required the B-2 bombers and the GBU-57, massive ordnance penetrator bombs, 30,000 pounds of bombs with 5,600, pounds of explosives to be used with that special alloy casing to penetrate, drill deep, and then explode to be able to take that down, Geeta.
Well, absolutely. But two very important things over here, Gaurav. One is that the assessment of the damage is yet to be done. IAEA and the energy agencies for now have said they've not detected, or Saudi Arabia has actually come out and said they've not detected any sort of air contamination or radiation leak as of now. So one will have to wait and see what is the kind of damage that has been done. Also remember, this is 90 meters deep, the Fordo nuclear site, and what the B-2 bombers can do is penetrate up to 60 meters. Then they require two very important things. One is that the first bomb has to go in, and the second bomb precisely has to go in the very same precise position for massive and major impact. Now, did that really happen? Again, we'll have to wait and see. But yes, the payload was huge. It is going to have a cause massive damage to the nuclear site. Can Iran operate out of that nuclear site? Not possible in all probability. But have they managed to penetrate well within and reach the 90-meter depth is something we'll have to wait and see, because that assessment has not come out yet. No radiation leak, no contamination so far is what is being reported from certain quarters.
General, in your appreciation, the United States has not only outgunned Iran, it's also trying to outflank Iran in the manner in which it's got 3 carrier battle groups in those waters. The fact that it's got multiple squadrons of F-35s, F-16s and F-15s in the region, and the fact that apart from Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, other locations, it's also talking about the use of Pakistani airspace and Pakistani air bases. Militarily, what does this mean for Iran?
Gaurav, the initial crust of air defense of Iran has been already broken by the Israeli firing which has happened over the last 10 days or so. Now, once the Iranian air defense systems are completely down, if the war continues the way it is continuing, thereafterwards, operating from multiple bases on the ground and multiple bases in the sea, from a direction other than the normal, which is normal is Israel, Jordan, and Iran. Now, if Pakistan, even if it does not give the air bases, but allows the airspace to be used, the assets can take off from the naval platforms, pass through Pakistan, go and hit Iran, return back with the mid-air refueling either on their way out or on their way in, depending on the ranges. So it is going to open up a new front, and then Iran will have to fight the battle. As it is, it's an aerial battle. It's not a battle on ground where tanks and infantry is moving in. So then they will have to fight a battle, as we say, on 2 fronts or more than 1 front. So that is not going to be a good news for Iran from the military point of view and also from the strategic point of view. Now, another point which we were discussing earlier, now in this whole game, who is Iran's friend and who is opposing him? We've seen Jordan, we've seen Saudi Arabia, now we are likely to see Pakistan. In this whole game, Shia-Sunni card is a very important thing, which most of the war watchers who don't have the intimate knowledge of the area generally try to skip over. So this card of Shias versus the Sunnis is going to be used to assuage the internal population by any of these countries if there is some sort of uprising also. So they are going to say we are fighting for a bigger cause. So that is also a very important aspect in this region.
There were some commentators, General, who said that the Shia-Sunni divide will be papered over because it is the Muslims versus Jews in this combat. Do you buy that argument?
No, if it was Muslims versus Jews, then why Jordan and Saudi Arabia?
Point.
There is, see, economics drives everything. Nations, are driven by economics and far-reaching strategic implications. So any nation which is governed by responsible people, sensible people, they see the far-reaching elements and they would always like to be on the winning side. Nobody wants to be on the losing side when the winner or loser is just a matter of time. The names are very well known to each other, who is going to be the winner. So that is what is going to decide who is going to be friend and who is going to be not a friend. I will not say an enemy, not a friend of Iran.
Okay, and does Iran stand completely isolated on that front?